Well, welcome to Mardy Bucko, and it's back to the back garden for some wine and cheese and a bit of a talk. So, welcome. Now, come on, be honest. You thought that you tuned in to that TV chef Floyd with this hat. But in actual fact, no. This hat I got in Cornwall last year. We did manage to get away. We'd already booked the holiday before the lockdowns came in, and we had some nice weather, so I got really suntanned and burnt. And you know how it is. You go on holiday, you expose a lot of your face and your body to the sun, and then you don't notice it at the time, but you get in of an evening and you start tingling a bit, your skin, and then it becomes very uncomfortable and you don't want the sun to get on you again. And so for quite a long time after that, you're covering yourself up and trying to be in the shade. Bizarre, isn't it? So me and Jamie, we went shopping and we found a shop with this hat to keep the sun off, because I'm quite fair skinned, but I tan up easily now. I guess it began when I was a kid, and I spent a day in an open air swimming pool area, and I went red raw and absolutely sunburned. But after that, I tanned up very easily. Yeah. So anyway, here's another shirt look from The Prisoner t-shirt. Got a couple of them from the shop from Porthmirion, and still in the prisoner mode. Yeah, still reading up on the TV series. In fact, I found something quite interesting. I got this book. I didn't get it at Porthmirion, but I was reading on. You remember the old TV series, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., where you had Robert Vaughan, Napoleon Solo, as like American spy, and Ilya Kuryakin, played by I think it was David McCallum, was it? So the Russians, Americans working together against a third party, and they were working for the United Network Command for Law and Enforcement against a third world power, which was called Thrush. Now get a load of this name. Technological hierarchy for the removal of undesirables and the subjugation of humanity. Wow. You know, in the Prisoner series, you are not quite sure who has actually captured him. Is it the East? Is it the West? Or is it a third party, like I've just read to you? And yeah, so interesting, a lot of interesting stuff that I'm coming across. Now, cheese and wine. Now look at this. This was a gift from Neil and Ruth. Notice the prisoner type thing. It's called 19 Crimes, The Uprising. That's absolutely classic, that is. Thank you very much, Neil and Ruth, for your kindness, and indeed for all those who gave little presents on that day and were very kindly to me. Thank you very much. So, I've got some cheddar cheese here, and I'm just going to, I like cheddar think it goes really well with most things. I like cheeses in general, but try not to eat too much of it. Got my wine glass here. Oh, now a big glass, and we're going to open this, and I'm going to make sure I don't drink too much. I've got a little glass here, because let's be honest about it, you could tip this into this this size glass, and Jane would say, well, how many glasses you had to drink? And I would say, well, one. Oh dear. So let's open this one up. Got the old bottle opener, and I'll measure it up. Just tip one, I think, one little one in that big cup. The reason I like the big cup, glass, sorry, is you really can get the smells and the taste. It's got one of these cork screws in it that seems to crumble. That's it, super duper. So we'll tip one in there, look. That's super. Yeah, that's it. And then this one in there. That's it. I know exactly what I've had to drink now. One glass. One glass. Let's get the corkscrew back out. And that can go back in there. Yeah. That's it. Good. Good. So, cheers, my friends. It's a sunny day, but the clouds are rolling over. We're getting a bit of blue sky. Very nice. Port aged in rum barrels. Australian red wine. Thank you very much. I'll enjoy that. Now, I find with cheddar, it goes so well with everything. Whether it's cheese on toast, baked potato, bit of marge, bit of butter, and when it's nice and hot and you've had it in long enough that it's nicely done, I usually put a bit of olive oil, on the skin, cut it in half, prod it. If it's a large one, about 2 hours. If it's a smaller baked potato, 1.5. And then just open it up, marsh butter and the cheddar, and put it together again till it melts, the cheddar. I tell you what, lovely. That is lovely. Fantastic. So, what else? Well, I've watched this film recently. Jim Carrey in The Truman Show. Have you seen it? Now, Jim Carrey's an acquired taste, isn't he? He's a manic, strange sort of guy. I would imagine he's a controlled person in Hollywood. And, like most of the stars in music and in the films, I tend to feel that he is controlled and manipulated. Have you come across the film that is it about Truman Burbank, who his whole life from an orphan baby is a TV series, and unbeknown to him, cameras are all over the place, and everyone in it is an actor or an actress, even though he's portraying his mum and dad, and he don't realise anything. And most, well, I found it, certain aspects of it quite sinister. Although it's a comedy, you could laugh at things. But there's a because they want to keep him on this particular, what they say is an island, and which is like a studio lot, really. They create a fear of water through an incident where his dad, it's staged to him and the dad are sailing, a storm comes, and the dad goes overboard, and then he's trying to reach him, and he goes under the waves. Well, unbeknown to Jim Carrey, the deep sea divers are there rescuing the guy, but he thinks his dad is drowned. And so what you have right there is fear-based, mind-controlled, trauma-based situation on the person in the film, in reality. And there was another strange clip right at the beginning with the I wrote it down here, and he says, this is Jim Carrey as he comes on as the character in the film. He says, "Promise me one thing. If I die before I reach the summit, you will use me as an alternative source of food." Now, it's a horrible cannibalistic type thing to say, and particularly the global elite in some of their rituals and things they get up to. I need not comment any more on that because it's going to put me off my cheese. So I'll leave it there. But a film worth watching, and you'll find many things on it of interest, should we say. Yeah. Trying to think what sort of grape it is. It doesn't actually say on the bottle. That's an unusual one. It doesn't say the grape variety. It's probably a mixture then of it's probably a mixture, I'd say, of different grapes. It has all the dark bodied plum type colours of a Cabernet Sauvignon or of a Syrah. Yeah, brilliant. Good choice, Neil. Thank you very much. Plane going over, that's a rarity. Wow, I just paused to look at it. We used to, in the back garden, they'd be going up every 10 or 15 minutes before all this began, Yeah. Yeah. Not only that, there's a few wasps knocking around the block as well at the minute. Let's have a bit more cheese. Yeah. Where have all the people gone? Faceless persons, everyone. Where have all the people gone? Long time ago. Where have all the people gone? Muzzled sheep, everyone. Why won't they ever learn? Why won't they ever learn? I did those couple of comedy skits that Phil helped me with, and I do hope you enjoyed the interview with Phil. great guy, some great people. The Gene Kelly one and the Tommy Cooper one, they both have in common the fact that this wasp wants to get in on the act. He's got, look at this, he's walking around. Go on, clear on. They're cheeky, aren't they? Cheeky. He wants some of the wine flying around. Go on, go on. Absolute cheek of it. Here I am filming. Go on. Goodness me. You never know what to expect on Marty Bucko, do you? Let's be honest about it, eh? So, they both have in common the muzzles and the masks, and total liberation from all this evil and all this insanity, and to be able to laugh and mock our controllers. That's what it's about. That's what they're about. Yeah, I enjoyed doing them. It was a really good time with Phil. So I think back to the Anna Breeze site, where she had life stories of people, of how all this evil was affecting them. And I sent in my story, and I remember not long thereafter I came across Lee Marshall, as you all know him from Veritas Vincent. And when I first saw him, because I'm going back how all these things came about, in a sense, my site, and when I saw Lee, I thought to myself, what I thought was, I like this guy, and I can work with him. And I just had that thought, and like yourselves, as a subscriber, once I found out Lee had done other videos and he had his own sites, I subscribed. And as yourself, I enjoy, I still do, obviously, and I remember him saying he was going to come to a, hopefully going to get to a Birmingham Freedom March. So I went along with a guy called Gino from Wolverhampton. We parked up, walked up to the centre of Birmingham in good time, walked up the steps to the town hall, and there were Lee. Spotted him straight away. He was with one other person and the place was empty. Walked up, got into conversation, and we began to visit with one another, talk on the phone, communicate. He recognised me from my clip on Anna Breeze, my story, and this I then visited him in his place in Lichfield. We gave out some leaflets, and I did a talk, the first talk I did with him on Martin's story, it was called, and it was warmly appreciated by numerous people and left nice comments. And thereafter I probably did maybe 26, who knows how many videos, and because his mum and dad aren't far away in Darlaston, around 5 miles say somewhere around there, 5 or 6. He would nip by, and we'd film the odd thing at my place, and you know how it is in all things, because I had no thought of doing my own channel, none whatsoever. In all things in life, you need role models and you need inspiration. And when you see how things are done, and when you see things can be done, it inspires you. And I'd say that Lee's site is one of the top. I'd put it right up there as one of the top truther sites. Now Lee, he'd probably say, he's a humble guy, and he'd say, well, no, you know, nothing really. Well, he's got to 1,000 subscribers, but realistically, he should have more than that. There's no reason why he shouldn't have 100,000. Because he speaks from the heart, with authority, with power, with conviction, and it resonates with people, and it's good, and it's brilliant. And okay, sometimes I say, sometimes they're really top notch, and it just leaves you gobsmacked. Other times you can see he's giving you his feelings, whether he's happy, whether he's sad, whether he picks up his guitar, sings something, whatever. You're getting it real, and people want to view it. Now, because he had all the bands and having to go and sit on the naughty step, time out, and then the concern that all of that could disappear and be gone because the evil powers that be decide to do that is scandalous. And so my concern was it shouldn't disappear, and I didn't want the bits I'd done with him to disappear. So I thought, any way we can help to preserve, to do various things. Now there are other sites, we're aware of Odyssey and Brand New Tube and these various things. But my thought was it could all disappear and be gone at a whim. So because of Neil and Ruth, because he's an IT guy and he showed how it can be done in bringing, in setting up my own site and then helping, because I said to Lee, can I bring across the ones we've done together, because I'm in all of them and I've got nothing to put up on the site, to which he was happy to do that, because he has so many from the past stretching back a number of years. So he was happy to say, yeah, by all means. And so the Marty Bucko site was set up. Some of the ones with me and Lee were brought over, and then I began doing my own, and I still hope we will collaborate, as it were, together on different projects, different things, as I'm sure will be the case. And but you see, whatever Marty Bucko's site is, in a sense, it is a offshoot. It's come out from Lee's site. You trace it back. It has. I had no more thought of setting up a site. It was anything. It was out of concern that the stuff would disappear completely. And then you think to yourself, how is it possible to keep speaking on things? Or where are these talks coming from? Or where is the inspiration? Well, should it not dry up? And you think to yourself, well, it's like if you've got flowing living water, it will just go stagnant if it's just in a pond and it doesn't give out. But because it's life and truth, it flows. And whatever the channel is or whatever it becomes, and some people, think well of it, others, I'm an acquired taste because, I'm speaking on spiritual matters from the Christian worldview, and that isn't always happily received. Other times the comedy and humour, you see, with comedy, it's not always everybody's cup of tea, is it? People don't often understand because we're living in a day and age where there isn't a lot of humour. There's not a lot of laughing. People are walking around in this heaviness, in this oppression. So, for people to appreciate your humour, I mean, I love humour. And the guy who I did, Tommy Cooper, I think, between you and me, again, not everyone would agree, but I think when he's doing his magic with his fez, he's hard to touch. He's so funny, and it's in everything. His look, his features, his laugh, his eyes, the bungling tricks of his magic tricks. Now, he had a TV show, and not all the stuff was to my liking, and because I think he's best just doing his magic. That is Tommy Cooper. He began as a magician, wasn't it? Anyway, I'm going off a bit now. Let's bring it back in. And so whatever Marty Bucko is, some people like Tim of Fairplay now have said, and he's been kindly to make known the site to other people, because I believe there are people throughout the world, basically, but mainly in the UK, who will appreciate what I'm trying to get across to people. And but where to find these people is anybody's guess, isn't it? So I hope they discover the site and come along. But I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, as it were. And as I say, someone like Tim, he gives a platform. He says, he must have summer. He thinks to himself, Bucko must have summer. He probably scratches his head and thinks, I don't know what it is, but he's got something. And he says, he'll go past me and he'll go past others, and but I tend to think, I'm not so sure. So, the one good thing, it's really come from all of this evil, is the people that I've met. And they're all lovely souls. Great people. Phil and his brother Gaz, Lawrence Bomber Brown, the young lad Keane, who came on the shopping trip, and our dear friend Lee. As I say, who I think, again, he wouldn't go along with this, but it's what other people think and say that counts.